So our second project features Bernadette Calvey. Bernadette ran a project that's called the Cumbria Action for Sustainability. This is a Zero Carbon Cumbria, training community trainers in events on climate science and solutions across Cumbria. Hi Bernadette, lovely to have you here. Thanks so
Hi,
much for
Robin.
coming along today to present your project to us.
So, good afternoon, everybody. I'm really pleased to be with you this afternoon. It's such a privilege to be here and to tell you all about our project in Cumbria, in CAFS. So, we work with individuals, communities, businesses, and local authorities across Cumbria to reduce the county's carbon footprint and to bring about a more sustainable way of life here. We manage and deliver events, advice, training, practical projects, and specialist consultancy services. Now, we've been a sustainability charity for about 22 years, but 8 years ago, inspired by the Centre for Alternative Technology's Zero Carbon Britain report, our vision became a Zero Carbon Cumbria, a county with improved quality of life, with thousands of low carbon jobs created to produce and deploy renewable energy at scale, to provide warmer homes and integrated accessible public transport. A lot of our work is about empowering others, building skills of sustainability, developing confidence and agency, and encouraging communities to work together. Reducing the emissions from domestic energy is vital, and we are testing new technologies to understand heat loss from buildings. We run degree-level courses for tradespeople in retrofitting energy efficiency. We have draft-proofed hundreds of homes, trained hundreds of people, and given energy advice directly to thousands. We showcase some of the incredible activity in the county by holding events, sometimes in people's homes, sometimes at building sites, sometimes on farms, in our annual Green Build and Sustainable Living Festival. Another hugely important part of our work is around community-led sustainability. For example, we seed funded a new social enterprise, Community Energy Cumbria, and among other community energy groups, right across the county. And they raised almost £1 million so far to build community-owned renewable energy schemes. We've been supporting communities in other ways through a whole place approach in Alston Moor for the past 3 years, advising on housing and energy, transport, food, and leading to significant embedded policy change. And another thing we do is educate. So something massive has happened around climate change in the last year, 18 months. Public mood has changed. People feel frightened and overwhelmed and are crying out for concrete knowledge about science and solutions so that they can drive the change and create a better world. All across Cumbria, the country, the globe, people are calling for strong action on climate change. We've just heard from Anthea about how activism is increasing. At CAFS, never before have we had such a surge in demand for our work. People have woken up to the fact that we face a climate emergency, that the early impacts are here and that they are hurting people we love. In Cumbria, amongst many places, we're on the front line, and people know that there is a very small but very real window of opportunity to turn this around, and they need solutions. So why did we want to work with the Emergence Foundation? Well, we've been approached by community groups who want us to help them, to support them to turn their feelings of helplessness into positive action. Simultaneously, demand for trainers on climate science and solutions is outstripping our capacity to respond. So we want to see individuals feeling empowered to train other people and to drive the changes that they want to see. We want to see organisations and individuals developing a better sense of agency and responsibility, and a much better understanding of the causes of and solutions to the climate crisis. And we want to see emissions reduced as a result. At the deepest level, we believe that this project could really change the dynamic in the county. So we applied for funding, and having heard that we've been successful with our application, we celebrated, and then we decided, what are we going to achieve? After some delays due to the pandemic, there was a recruitment campaign for the coordinator role, and I started in December at the end of last year. At the end of January this year, we advertised for volunteers to join our project. We were overwhelmed with the response. It was a challenge to choose a team of just 20 volunteers from the large numbers of people in Cumbria with a drive and a passion to want to make a change in what we all understand about the climate crisis. So I thought it might be useful for you to hear why some people applied to do this. John says, I live in an isolated area of West Cumbria. Lockdown has amplified how siloed my community is and opened my eyes to the difficulties we all face. Anne Marie said, I would also enjoy the opportunity to be part of a network of volunteers. During these disjointed times, it feels especially good to foster purposeful community. So my role as the project coordinator is not only to recruit, train and support this team, but to empower them, improve their confidence in supporting their communities, in developing a sense of agency and responsibility in making changes. All of this happening during COVID meant that we've taken the whole project online. And while there were some inevitable delays, we have succeeded in creating a team who are ready to fulfill the aims of the project. CAF's aims, as well as the Emergence Foundation's aim, which perfectly sums our project up, and that being to support individuals and organisations who are inspired by a depth of purpose to improve the quality of life of individuals, enhance communities and benefit the environment through educational projects which affect a shift in consciousness or perspective that provides a force for positive change in the world. So how is it going? Our 20-strong team are delighted to have been chosen. Fliss said last week, I believe that the climate crisis is the most urgent problem we face, and I'm ashamed of my generation's failure to recognise this and act much sooner. But we can only start from where we are, with positive action like that of CAF's, and I'm eager to play a role in that change. Each of our volunteers, who have a varied background in climate science, but a shared passion in talking to people, have already received a full day of accredited carbon literacy training from me. This is a highly interactive training session which builds confidence as well as knowledge. And the next step is to support them in delivering training and improving their delivery skills and confidence. And we will do this as a supportive community of like-minded individuals, sharing knowledge and expertise as well as resources, and by buddying up with other volunteer trainers. By May, they should be working in their own communities and networks to deliver short climate science and solution sessions or conversation cafes to interested groups based on a resource we've developed for them. We'll meet regularly during the remainder of the project to support each other and to share successes and challenges. So, although the project's end point is the end of this September, this year we want to leave a legacy. The volunteers will have received the tools to continue working with communities beyond that point. And we want, like ripples on a pond, to continue to have spheres of influence in the future. Every person who takes part in a session with the volunteers will be given signposts to more information, local sustainability networks they can join or form, and the opportunity to find out how to reduce their own carbon footprint. They will be encouraged to talk to others and to spread the key messages of the sessions. And alongside this project, CAFS is also part of the Zero Carbon Cumbria project, which is working towards the shared aim of making Cumbria the first carbon neutral county in the UK by 2037. The ZCC partnership is co-chaired by CAFS and Cumbria County Council and involves around 70 public, private and third sector organisations. And you can see some of these organisations on this slide. It's an ambitious and inspiring challenge that will touch on many aspects of life in Cumbria to bring the county's greenhouse gas emissions to net zero. One part of this work is an exciting 5-year programme of community activity to help people reduce their footprint, particularly from food, waste and the goods we buy. And it's all been made possible thanks to a £2.5 million grant from the National Lottery Climate Action Fund, which CAFS bid for on behalf of the partnership. And we will deliver a range of projects ranging from repair cafes, citizens' juries, youth engagement, and also then launching a new major county-wide programme of full-day accredited climate and carbon literacy training, which some of our volunteers may well be involved with. So our vision is a zero carbon Cumbria, a county with improved quality of life and people living in balance with their environment. The science says we must, the technology says we can. It's time to say we will. Thank you.
Thank you. Fantastic, Bernadette. Yeah, really great. Such a practical program of sort of taking people from reading lots of scary headlines to actually telling them what they can do. Really good. There's questions pouring in over here. Some of them I think you at least partly answered on the way, but let's see how we get on here. How has the project impacted you personally?
Wow, that's a really good question. Well, I've only worked with CAFs from the beginning of December when I started this new role, and I think for me, it's focused my own understanding. I was very much in all previous roles, very much. I've worked with carbon literacy previously. I have a very sustainable approach to my own life, but it's made me tune in much more to the impact on me in the whole project. And it's been challenging and satisfying, and I feel like I'm making a difference with it personally.
What have you found to be the biggest challenge that you've come across?
I think it's double-edged. I think it's communicating with everybody virtually. But I think we've benefited from that. I know that some of the volunteers were really looking forward to being in front of groups, and while we can't do that yet, it's a dissatisfaction for some of them, and the
Right.
technology often doesn't help. But I think it helps us reach more people. I think it makes what we're doing more accessible.
Now, this one you've certainly said something about, but maybe you want to say a little more. It says, thank you, Bernadette. Are you working with other similar organisations to create a network of like-minded groups across the UK?
I think there are certainly links with other counties and their approaches to becoming net zero carbon. Yes.
Do you have any plans to take on further groups of trainers, maybe even to outreach to visitors, as so many people love your beautiful county?
Well, because the project is only running up until September, it's taken us quite a long while to get through the recruitment process and the training process. I would like to focus on the group of trainers that we have and ensure that they have the support that they have to complete this, rather
Mm.
than employing or recruiting a further group.
Why is Cumbria in particular so aware of the climate threat and so interested in responding? What's your thoughts on that?
Well, I think we've been hit by the impacts of climate change a lot, as many places have been around the world. But over the last 10 years or so, we've had three major flooding episodes from 2005, so it's a bit more than 10 years ago. 2005, 2012, and 2015, we had major flooding across the north and the centre of Cumbria. And so it's impacted a lot of people personally.
Do you anticipate your work could have significant effects beyond Cumbria?
We would like to think so. Yes. Yes. Yeah, we've
Yeah,
we've
well,
made
I'd
some
like to think
links
so
with
as well.
yeah. We've made some links with a couple of other counties who are thinking of doing something similar. So, we're very happy to support them in from what we've learned.
Excellent, excellent. So spreading. Look, there's a bevy of great supportive comments in here. Fantastic work. Thank you. So inspiring. Excellent project. Very inspiring. Really inspiring work, Bernadette. So people are loving what you're doing. Clearly,
Great.
thank you so much for your work and for sharing it with us. Very inspiring.
Okay.
Powerful example of transformation, collaboration, and sustainability. So. Yeah, wonderful stuff. So look, I'm going to say a big thank you to you for presenting to us today. It's definitely been appreciated, and we're very proud to have been able to support your project. So thanks,
Thank you.
Bernadette.
Thank you for the opportunity and for supporting us. Thank you.